John here, staff software engineer with 10 plus years of experience. I'm the lead maintainer of Ladderly.io, which is an open source educational platform that will help you land your first or next role. You can sign up free and come join the Discord. A particular reason you'll be interested in doing this in the next month will be due to Hacktoberfest. So Hacktoberfest is starting up in about 2 weeks, and Ladderly has several issues already tagged Hacktoberfest where you can contribute. These are issues that are good for beginners. So that's just a call out. What we're working on today is not a Hacktoberfest task. We are working on create a shorts playlist. Issue number 317. And the concept here is to enhance my YouTube report, okay? So here is repurpose.io. This is an auxiliary tool that I use as a content creator. So we're working on a content creation tool today. And you can see I have thousands of videos across channels. What I would like to do is I would like to find the best ones. Maybe I'd like to find the best from these 3,000 so that I can then post them to LinkedIn. So I can pick the best ones and repurpose them. That's what this repurpose website will help me with. But it requires a playlist to draw from. So I will provide a YouTube playlist to repurpose, and then it will methodically go through that playlist and bring them over to another channel. Pretty interesting tool, no formal affiliation, but I do use it. So Ladderly currently doesn't support this feature. So what do we have today? We have a report that will tell you the top performing YouTube videos, but it doesn't create a playlist. So here is Ladderly Blitz app scripts folder, and we can see report.py. There's also a README. So for additional context, you can read this README under the YouTube transcriber, and you can also read the module comment at the top of report.py. But basically, you give it a YouTube playlist ID, an input playlist ID. So this would be the long one. And it will go through and it will look at like views and likes and stuff like that and figure out what are the top videos. And then it will apply some threshold. I think it might be 20%, like the top 20% or something like that. Yeah, so P75, which is the top 25%. And so those are considered like the top performing or the high performers. And let me just run this. One of the things that you can do with this tool is it recommends next in. It recommends the next in, like you can say next in -1, it'll tell you the top performing video. Next in -5, it'll give you the 5 next top performing videos filtered against the URLs low value, automated and manual. And so one of the things you can do here is basically say, I already posted these 5 videos. So even if they're the top 5, like filter them out and give me the next 5. And so it will give you the next in videos that you should manually post to the other channel. Does that make sense? What I'm wanting to do is basically automate that. So this is not convenient. First of all, because it's not automated, and just like automating things in general is kind of cool. But second of all, I have to be at my desktop or laptop. I have to have the repository checked out and run the script to find that video, which is really not convenient. If I'm on the go, I'm around town, I want to just be able to like copy a URL and then send it over. And so if I have a YouTube playlist, I can do that. I can just go to my channel. I can go to my playlist tab and I can go to, we'll need to make a new output playlist. And I can just go there and copy the link and then post it on LinkedIn. And that'll be a lot easier. So even if I do things manually, this is going to be easier, even if I don't use the repurpose tool. But also, once I have this other playlist that I could be copying over manually and it's convenient and it's on the go, then I can just stick it into repurpose. So it's better for integration as well. And that's basically what this user story says. As a content creator, I'd like to enhance the current YouTube report generator with the ability to create a YouTube playlist based on the report so that I can more easily integrate, share, repost, and repurpose this content. Okay. So this is 317. So now let's proceed to making our feature branch. So I've already got the latest from main, and I'm going to say 317 after the GitHub issue number. And I will say create YouTube high performer, or let's call it top content playlist. Okay. Make sure that I am starting on the latest from main. I'll go ahead and set up the pull request, although there will be nothing there at the moment. By the way, if you're finding the video interesting so far, I hope you'll follow the page. Oh, no. Okay. I think I changed my authentication approach from using password to using SSH. So let's see. Over here, I have the SSH approach. Is it going to be set origin? Git remote set origin. Git remote set URL. Oh, git remote origin set URL. I think this is right. And if it's not, I'll Google. Git remote origin set URL. No. ChatGPT time. We can use Google if we need to, but why? Is there a threshold on O1 Mini? There's a threshold on the preview. What's wrong with this syntax? I could just say what's wrong with this. Should I purchase a 2017 MacBook in 2024? I don't recommend it. Intel is going to be a pain in your life. So what did I say? Here's what I said. Git remote set URL. Oh, it's just the order. Sure. Thanks, ChatGPT. Okay, so now we're in business. Anyone that hates on using AI for programming, like, get out of town, dude. You see how that saved me time? Okay, so this is not quite ready because there's no changes, but I'll just hold this URL at another tab. Developers, we love our tabs, eh? So I'll just hold this tab over here. Whenever I push a code change, then I'll be ready to actually create a draft and eventually set it ready for review when we get to that stage. So here, what I'd like to do first is just run the report. And I want to sort of basically do a regression test before I change anything. Okay, so make sure that it's working. So I'm going to CD into the Blitz app, and I can follow the breadcrumbs up at the top here. Blitz app, scripts, tab to autocomplete, Y tab to finish out YouTube transcriber. I'm using Zish here, R. Okay, and so I've CD'd, I've changed the current directory such that I'm now in this YouTube transcriber folder. I can list the contents of this folder, and we see the report.py in the terminal. Now what I would like to do is source my Vim. Okay, and this is documented in the YouTube transcriber README. So I already have an existing virtual environment, but if you don't, installation and usage will tell you, hey, make a virtual environment and then source it. And so we're using Python for this transcriber. Is this Python? Yeah, the current task that we're doing is Python. The whole repository is not Python, it's mixed. But what we're doing right now is an analytical script task. Python, wonderful, wonderful tool for analytical scripts. Okay, and so I'm going to source.v tab, and then it's vim bin activate. And this is just the conventional location of a local Python interpreter in your virtual environment. So I can say which Python, and it's now pointing to a local isolated executable of Python as opposed to my global Python. Okay, so that's why we do that, to keep our stuff isolated. Similar to in web development world, you have your package.json file or your yarn file. And so you scope it to that project, and you don't want to do like global packages. Same idea. Cool. So I'm going to go Python report. I'm going to pass the recommend next in flag. And by the way, here's a hack. If you don't really understand what's going on here, you can take this whole thing over to ChatGPT. How can I list the top 3 next videos from YouTube with the below script? So I'm just posting the whole thing, including the comment, the module comment, to GPT. It's really spit a lot of stuff out, right? It might just be easier to read the module. I think it's going to be easier to read the module comment in this case. So it's sounding prerequisites. Cool. I've already done that stuff. Generate the report. Again, I've already done that. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So maybe this will help you. Maybe this will help you. As someone who's already familiar with the code base, this is kind of like verbose. But if you're new to it, maybe that's good, right? Oh, I entered the wrong thing. Okay, so these are my 3. Here are the 3 top video URLs recommended for you to post next. Let's go open one of these. And you can see this has like hundreds of likes. And so that's basically how it's evaluating. It's getting like 10K views. It's getting like the top viewed and liked videos. I love you. Will you be my GF? Not yes. Guy who knows English, guy who knows coding. Yeah. Okay. So the exclamation point, this means not. This means not in programming syntax. Your live is not eligible because you may be promoting a brand or service. Okay. What is going on over there, TikTok? Is that working now? Okay. Yeah, I guess if I'm promoting open source, it counts as promoting my brand. So, all right. So this is what it does today. And just to reiterate what we're doing again, these, I don't want it to print out text on the command line now. I want it to create a YouTube playlist. Okay. So the first thing I'll do is I will wonder, do I want to extend the current script or do I want to create a different script for this purpose? Technically, we're reusing the same output. So we might think to extend the current script, but it is a different concern, right? It is a different concern. I now want to specify a YouTube playlist name for a different YouTube playlist. My logic should create that playlist if it exists or replace the contained videos if it, hold on, should create that playlist if it does not exist or replace the contained videos if it already exists. Okay? So the question is, given that I want to create a YouTube playlist, should I extend this report.py or make a different file? The videos on the output playlist should be the top performers. Bathsheba, thanks for the likes. Okay, something like manage playlist. So I'm fine with this. I would like manage playlist to call the report logic if we follow this approach. So let's see if it's doing that. Pretty verbose, 7 steps. I guess that's good. Recommend next videos already exists, I think. Yeah. So it says it's exposing it. Zop Control, thank you for the likes. Quick reminder, if you're on TikTok, you can go to YouTube. The link is in my bio and see the full screen. Okay, so what I can do is just copy it over and see the difference here. It looks like main is substantially different. I think I'm seeing that. Existing imports and initializations, these are already being done. Cool. So really from here down, recommend next videos. I'm going to copy this bit. As engineers using language tools, one of the key skills that we need to grow is to understand which bits to copy and why, and which bits to disregard and why. So here I'm going over to source control. Let me collapse these things so that I only have, I'm using a VS Code multi-root. Let me only open up laterally. Do I have 2 laterally repositories? What's going on there? Oh, the slides, yeah, okay. So here's the git diff. Recommends the next, so it created a comment, cool. If not video data, it returns an empty list. Okay. Recommend next videos, recommend videos. Did it split this method? Oh, okay. It basically just created this additional method. That makes sense. Recommend next videos. Yeah. So if the data is there, we're going to use it. And if not, we're going to call this existing function. I think that totally makes sense. Pretty clean approach. Okay, I'm going to Command Shift P and format the document. Now I'll save. I'll go ahead and stage this. And I need to create my new file now. And so the new file, let's go to the kind of the latest version down here. Update and manage playlist.py. Does this do the whole thing? It seems to, and we're using subprocess. Okay, so this script is literally calling the other script. But you see how concise this is? Love it. It's like very little code. Modularize common functions. We can do that later. We might need to install something. We'll see. And then it's assuming they are going to be siblings. That's right. That's right. Okay. So I'll run touch.py, which is going to create an empty file here. And you can see they are siblings. Manage playlist.py is a sibling of the report.py, which is necessary because when I call report.py, I need to know the path to get to it from this file. Okay, so I'm opening up this file, pasting. Here, the video count is hard coded. I don't like that. I want it to be parameterized. But otherwise, yeah, so these make sense for defaults, but I want them to be parameterized. I'm going to give this feedback to the tool. So these make sense as defaults, but I would like to optionally override them using command line flags. Oh, another thing I need to do is don't limit the video count. Just get all of the top performers. O1 mini is super verbose. Maybe it's a good thing. No, this is like more than needed. It's giving me additional it's giving me like way too much. Be more concise, only giving me the final content of manage underscore playlist.py. Make one more change, then be concise. Or and. Make one more change and be concise. The change is alter the default value of video count to a value of -1, which should indicate not to limit the count of videos at all. Use all top performing videos according to the report logic. Chat, how are we doing? Any questions in the chat? Is this making sense? Sure made this thing a lot longer, didn't it? Okay. AVS, I'm reviewing the main function. I want to see a default of unlimited. So here's the playlist name. I'm not seeing a default. So I think it did that incorrectly. Playlist name, description. Okay, so I'm going to manually alter this. Instead of required, I'm going to say default. And that will be top performance. So I want it to be dated by default. Top videos for today as string. Let's use just give me the expression to obtain a formatted. And what do I want the format to be? Using cool. And see, this is another great thing about the language tool. I can give it the format in pretty much any human readable format, and it can translate it into the technical syntax for whatever library. So here we'll do the date time. I'll hover, quick fix, import datetime from datetime today as string is now done. Okay, so I'm reading through. We have YouTube playlist manager, create or update a playlist with recommended videos. Great. And so here's the playlist name. It defaults to top videos for today as string. I'm going to try to use this with the default, and I want to make sure that the playlist gets created. Here's the default description. Okay. And then the default number is just like all the videos. Cool. We'll get a log to confirm. Good. So we're going to want to manually test both these cases. This one should be easy to test if there's no recommended videos. If I pass 0, I expect to hit that. So we'll test the 0 case. We're going to authenticate. We're going to get it if it exists. We're going to create it if it doesn't exist. Okay, so I think the way to start testing this is to pass 0 the first time. And I should expect it to be created. No, I don't. It will exit without creating. So let me try this. I also want the version to be defaulted. Yeah, so we just build v3 in the existing report logic. In the new code, it parameterizes this, which I see the case for it. I see the case for it. I just want it to be consistent. Yeah, that's fine. We'll parameterize it. So whenever v4 comes out, realistically, I think we're gonna have to change the code for it to use v4. So I'm gonna get rid of this. 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 I'm gonna get I'm going to get rid of this because I'm expecting that, first of all, I don't want to support V1 or V2. And whenever V4 comes out, I think I'm probably going to have to change the code. So this would be a screen pattern, like it will error. And that's good. So if we try to use V4, like it won't work, and that's good because we just don't intend to support V4 right now. Okay. Okay, so now that I'm not worried about that, get rid of this import that's not doing anything. Google client is already being used. So I don't expect to need to do this. So I'll probably remove that usage instruction, but let's just try this. Let's just try this. No module named Google OAuth lib. Okay, so we're using a new one now. My question is going to be why. So we get installed app flow. Authenticates the user with YouTube API. So the idea is what? That this is going to let me create. So here's the app flow. I think we might need to do this because of the insert here. All right, let's see what's going on in the report over here. Over here, we get our YouTube instance, have an API key. And so it's just reading. So maybe I get away with a lower bar. YouTube API key. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT here, client secret file. No. I think it's authenticating with a different approach. Okay. Do I need, Florescu, thanks for the likes. So do I really need this dependency? I'm going to push back. Yes, you need it because creating or updating. Okay, so I think that's an acceptable answer. So see how we were kind of anticipating if I do need it, this might be why I need it. So instead of just like blindly trusting GPT, we're building a range of like red flags and green flags. And so if it says something that I would be okay with, I've determined that ahead of time. And so I'm okay with this. Okay, so I'm going to stage this as is, then we'll go back. I really don't want to parameterize that. AVS. I'm looking at the diff. That import doesn't appear used. Let's also remove because I only want to support V3 at this time. Still not quite giving me exactly what I want, but it's pretty darn close, so whatever. AVS. Set to -1, that's fine. The date time, so it just moved them around. That's also fine. Hard coded. I don't need a comment that says it's hard coded. Like, yeah, it's hard coded. I prefer to put it here. It's not a big deal, but anyway. I'm just going to reduce the changes. So pretty much this is what I was looking for. They put it in line. I'm going to extract it. Okay, so pretty much I'm aligned with the language model.
Dad, can we go to the chocolate place now?
We can go in like 10 minutes.
Okay. He said 10 minutes. 10 minutes like this.
Okay, so this, do I expect it to work? No, I think I need to get some material. So I'm going to close others, scroll up to the top. YouTube client secret file. I don't think I have this. Create a .env file in the same directory as this script. I have the .env already. Client secret file. I need to get one of these. Okay, so my .env, I think I have a template version as well. .env. I guess I should make a .env.template. Okay, let me take this off screen while I make a copy of my env file as a template. .env.template. Okay, so here's .env.template that I've now constructed. We are going to add YouTube client secret file. YouTube API service name is like really not necessary, right? I think I hard code this. Yeah, because we're only supporting YouTube. We're not building like, I would never plug in a different value. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that's not useful. Sort of extraneous complexity. So here I'm just going to say YouTube, delete this, YouTube, and then this is the default values. These are the default values. Would I ever use a different client secret file? That one maybe. If people want to put their secrets in a different location, yeah, that could be. Like if you're up in CI and your files are in a different place. Okay, so this seems okay. This seems okay, and I really don't need to put this in the env template. I guess we can, but it's really not necessary. So in the API key, there's the YouTube API key, right? Yeah. Host ID. Okay. Now I want the output. No, we're doing the output name as a command line flag, not an environment variable. So this isn't really needed, but I'll go ahead and do it. And do I want to call it client.json? So let me make a file. Client secret.json. It's not currently ignored. I have a get ignore expression that I can use that's sort of generic. Let me see. Ignore me. Ignore me. So if I make this client secret.ignoreme.json, it should get immediately ignored. Nice, nice. Okay, so instead of client secret.json, I'll call it client secret.ignoreme.json. And I will add this to the env template as the default value. And then I will call these like replace me. Okay, so this env.template, here I'll say usage, CP. I need to change the file name here because it's being ignored as an env file. We call this env.template without the period. What if I call it env.local? Yeah, so env. No, that's still ignored. I thought I had one that won't be ignored. I can just make an exception for .template. What do you think, chat? I think that's a good idea. So here is my env.local, and I will change it to .env.template. And now we are not ignored. And then the usage is like copy this to .env. Okay. I think this makes a lot of sense. I'll close all of my files except this one, close others. And so what I'm missing now is I need this. And then I should be good to go. All right, so let's go to, I'm gonna start off screen, and if it looks non-sensitive, then I'll present my Google like dashboard. But what I'm typing over here on a new tab is, first I'm going to google.com, I'm clicking my little face. That's the wrong place. Google Developer Console. So I'm over in the Google Developer Console. I'm in my correct project. So this is console.cloud.google.com. I think this is a wrong project. Let me check my client ID here, the one that I'm actually using. Yep, right. Okay, so it's a different admin account. All right. Oh, fun. I need to verify it's me. Well, we love security. Okay, so now I'm logged in. So now I'm logged in to Google Console. And let me see, I'm looking for my API. So this would be like OAuth. I think, yeah, I can show you this. So here I am in my like console home, and I'm gonna just search for OAuth. I guess it'll be under credentials. And so I'm gonna take it back off screen before I click that, but that's where I'm going just for your reference. If you're trying to navigate this problem as well. Okay, cool. So I see and I've named my key YouTube transcription key. This is my API key. And this is not the client secret JSON file. So how do I get a client secret JSON file? I don't know. Let's search together. Google client secret JSON file. Good old Stack Overflow. Give you an upvote. Give you an upvote. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I'm here on the credential screen. Typing OAuth got me there, by the way. But the UI looks a little different. I have an OAuth 2 client ID. Ah, I see a download icon. I think this is right. I'm going to massage this image so that I can hide a bit like a string that I don't want you to see, and then I'll show you the rest of it. Yeah, this is not helpful at all. Okay, I guess this is kind of helpful. No, it's not. All right. Well, I'm not going to do the off-screen image editing. That's like too much work. Yeah, basically, if you look for a bit that says OAuth 2 client IDs, there's a small download icon. And that downloads a JSON file. There we have it. Okay, so I've got this file in my downloads folder now. So let's close this. And then I want to rename it. I'm going to grab this string, Command X Z. I like to use the Command X to get the visual feedback that it did cut instead of a Command C. So I'm going to put this here. clientseeker.ignoreme.json. Cool. So I've renamed the file in my downloads, and then I'm going to drag it and drop it over here into the YouTube transcriber folder. It already exists. Let's replace it. Cool. And then it opened it up. Great. Well, hopefully you don't hack me. Hopefully you didn't see the content of that file. But it's there now, and it's populated. So let's try. And now I do need to actually install the things after all. I would like these to be in my requirements file. So I'm going to install them one at a time. Or no, I can just put them in requirements over here. AU, Google Auth. Try to keep these roughly alphabetical. Okay, so we'll get rid of this one. The API Python client, I think I already have installed. The HTTP2 lib is already installed. Okay, these are all installed. Good, good, good. What about Google Auth? Yo, I'm getting hungry. Okay, everything's installed. It's just the one. It's just the one. And so it'll be pip install -r requirements.txt. And here I'm just really repeating what's already in the README, which doesn't feel good to me. But that's okay. Let's make upgrading pip not optional. And yeah, I'm just going to say, ensure you have the required libraries installed as specified in keep it dry. Keep everything in sync by pointing them over to that single source of truth. I think that's a better practice. Okay, so go look at the README, go look at this thing over here. And yeah, and then that one over there is going to tell us to do the Vim, source it, upgrade pip, and install this away. Cool. And so it said like all this stuff is already taken care of, but now we installed this one, which is like the big one that I care about. So I'll go ahead and stage here. Let's refresh. I should be able to stage the README, stage the requirements change, even stage this. All right. And now is this variable is not used. So let's delete that. You don't need to add the lines. We've taken care of that. Here in the README, installation usage, let's add, copy the template environment file and populate appropriate. Whoa, how do you spell appropriate? Whoa, appropriate values. Here's the bash, and that will be cp.env.template to .env. Okay, cp.env.template.env, cool. And so now that we've done this, I can consolidate this and I say, ensure you have, I'll just say, prepare your environment as specified over there. Cool. And so these instructions are simpler, right? So now this should be optional. Playlist name should be optional. Yeah. All flags are optional. And so we're going to try it with no flags at all. We're going to try it with no flags at all. Okay. I'm going to commit this, and then we'll do a separate fix commit. So this is an actual code issue. So what's the feature here? The feature is manage playlist.py, right? The whole thing is a new commit here. Cool. Manage playlist script. So we'll commit that. The recommended videos.json. This stuff should be, why did it make a C Python file? What's going on? PyCache. Okay. So definitely want to ignore my PyCache stuff. I'm surprised that that's not already being ignored. So here, PyCache. Cool, that guy dropped out. And then recommended videos, there should be nothing sensitive in there, right? Okay, so this is cool. But I don't want to check it in. So let me go to the report file, which is generating that recommended videos. Okay. And here I will call it recommended videos.ignoreme.json. Okay. So I can test this out manually, recommended videos.ignoreme. And now it should be get ignored. Okay, cool. But I'm going to delete it so that I can test the automated generation of that ignored file. Does that make sense? So I'll stage these two. Stage those two. Let's look. We might break this into 2 commits depending on what GPT says over here. So let's read what it's saying. Command C, F, V. It scrolls us down here. We're going to find from secret file. Okay. Hopefully this is the only line we need to change. That would be cool. So let me see my flow definition. Command V. No change at all. Okay. So that was not it. Boo. I can grab the whole file. Hopefully it told me the differences here. The script now uses run local server port 0 instead of run console. Okay. I like it. This will be my last resort. Since I didn't pen a version, I should already be using like the most recent pip compatible version. So I'll grab all of this, which I shouldn't do. That's what just happened there. Okay. The gods are telling me that I copied the wrong thing. What I really want to do is just change this bit. Command C, Command F, run _ console. Will only alter the right hand of the expression. Okay. And cool, simple change. Let's try it again. Going to the terminal. Can I not see the bottom of the terminal? What's going on here? Control C a few times to give myself some view space. Okay. Oh, it's like going under my, okay. My like, what is that thing called? The bar of shortcuts or whatever in Mac. It was like not collapsing. I'm not bothered by this select interpreter, but if you are like, oh no, I really need IntelliSense on these things like the .env, I'll just show you how to fix it real quick. It's because the VS Code is using my global interpreter rather than my local interpreter. And so I can click the yellow to fix it, or I can Command-Shift-P, Python, select interpreter, and tell it the path to my virtual interpreter, which is going to be this one that's under the .venv. Oh no, it's not that one actually. So the way I can fix this is I can say which Python. This is the path to the Python that my terminal is using. I'll copy this and then I will tell VS Code to use the same one. So I'll say enter interpreter path, paste it here, enter. And now you see the dependency imports that were like unrecognized. Now they're recognized because they are in that local interpreter scope. Let's see if I can build my playlist now. Whoa. URI mismatch. That's kind of crazy. Please visit the URL to authorize this application. Okay. Can I send the whole image? Can I send this image to GPT? No. So the new O1 Mini is not using attachments or image uploads yet. It will in the future. One thing I could do is I could pivot to 4 and give it the image. I don't know if that's reversible. So once I enter into the 4 scope, can I go back to the O1 Mini scope? I don't know. So I'm going to avoid that approach. And I am just going to grab the text. Oh, it may be because it has me under a different username. I think that's why. I have like two different emails. Let me try to take care of this a different way. So I'm going into my tab on my off screen for the OAuth that I have existing. And I'm just looking around, enable API and services. So it has the YouTube data API enabled, but I want to enable management, YouTube management. Is that a different thing? I'm not sure. All right, let's paste it here. We get rid of the email. That doesn't seem to be relevant. Ensure it's configured as a desktop app. Okay, well, it's definitely not, right? Using a web app type OAuth client can lead to mismatches, but it is a web app. It is a web app. Okay, do I actually need a different client here?
No, I didn't give those to you. Where did those come from? Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth or I'm taking them and they go in the trash.
Okay, so I think I need a different set of credentials, basically. I currently have a web app OAuth client, which I use for both social authentication and also offline scripts. Should I create a distinct credential set for this management script? I think the answer is going to be yes. Okay. All right. Well, we will pause the stream there. Basically, everything is working, except I'll need to create a different credential set and plug those in, which I will do offline because I'm getting hungry. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you found this interesting. Hope you'll tap like, follow the page, and tune in for more. Consider joining Laterally if you'd like to chat at any time on the Discord. I stream regularly on Saturdays. If a stream is canceled, a note goes to the Discord. If an ad hoc stream comes up, which does happen frequently, so I only have like the one regularly scheduled stream per week, but then I usually do like 3 kind of like sort of random ones. And you can find about those by joining the Discord or by hitting the notification bell